Then we go to clause 9, which allows the CS Interior to designate critical information infrastructure and impose compliance. This is meant to protect essential digital systems, but then it could also be abused as a blanket designation to enable surveillance on media houses, on NGOs, and individual entities or independent actors. And then we go to the last of it, the last bit of it, which is the devil in it. Like, of course, there's like the concern for all these other clauses, but then the big risk that we run is clause 3. And I'm glad, because I've heard that a team of lawyers is going to be challenging these in the courtrooms and ensuring that it doesn't see the light of day. So clause 3 empowers the NC4, what we call the NC4. The NC4 is like, it is like the regulatory body in terms of like cybersecurity and all that. It is like, the full name is the National Computer and Cybercrimes Coordination Committee. Okay? It is like going to lord over us, over all of us. Okay? It can, or rather, the Act has given it the powers now to switch off social media platforms partially or in their entirety. Switch off or delete individual accounts, maybe TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, any social media that you can think of, okay? The NC4 has now been given powers to delete it on the mere basis that it is facilitating criminal activity. And what is criminal activity, if I may ask? Saying one term might be defined as criminal activity. You know, we know the government of the day can decide that this is what you're going to label as criminal, this is unlawful, this is illegal. You know, they bring up terrorism here, even calling for action, calling for a gathering to exercise maybe Article 37 of the Constitution of Kenya could be declared illegal, could be declared criminal, and your account or a social media platform would be a target. This could mean that in 2027, the government could control the flow of information. That means they could target specific individual accounts that are considered to facilitate anti-status quo or anti-government agenda or communique. They could also target solely individual applications, no, not like individual, like blanket applications, like let's say TikTok, because maybe the government considers that whatever is being paraded or propagated there is illegal or unlawful. And my concern, and the concern should be for all of us, because I always tell members of parliament and everyone really, you don't know the side, the political side you're going to be on tomorrow. And it is something that I have learned quietly. And I'm glad that I've learned it that early in parliament and in my 3 years of politics, that you never know the side you're going to be on tomorrow. So if you're making any laws, make them for posterity. You could make them to punish the people you think are not in government right now. They could be in government and you would be out. So the same law that you make today is a double-edged sword. It protects and it cuts. And imagine a scenario where the government shuts down TikTok, you know, and it's challenged in courts, and well, the law is there protecting and giving them the powers to do that, the NC4 that is. Imagine they decide that Facebook is the one that is being used to mobilize or do lives and all that, and they decide to shut it down. So clause 3 is the devil in the details. It is the devil in the details. I do know that there's a team of lawyers, like I've said, who are going to court about this. I do believe that the courts will bring some sanity in regard to this, because it's very critical that we all remember to pass laws that are going to be, in the long run, going to be fair to all of us, irrespective of which side we are on, whether it's one term or the other side that I don't need to mention. As I wind up, I just want to tell maybe persons who might not be aware that I did participate. When this bill came up for debate on the floor of the House, I vehemently opposed clause 3. Vehemently opposed it. If maybe perhaps someone needs a record of it, the Hansard is a public document. You can request for the same. I also recommended that we amend Clause 3 so that we don't give arbitrary powers to NC4. It cannot be the judge, the jury, and the executioner in terms of what is unlawful content online. I also did a live on Facebook about it. I believe at some instance when I was discussing something else, I highlighted about the bill. And I think of all the bills that were centered into, of course, even the other ones have devils in the details. But I do believe this one will be very impactful because it could create a construct where people are not able to express themselves. And if you try, you're muzzled. So these must be dealt with in the courtrooms. And you ask how I voted on the floor of the National Assembly. So what happens with these kind of bills is that this was a government bill. It was like a majority side bill. So it's considered a government bill. And what happens on the floor is that for regular bills, it's a yea or nay. So you cannot know how individual members of parliament voted. I have no proof to you that I voted nay to this bill because it is a yea or nay, and you know that now with the broad-based government, quote unquote, everything is fluid, everyone is properly construed in government or in bed with the executive. The few of us who are considered rebels by our parties, because I was elected on a UDA ticket. If I don't support UDA agenda, I have not been supporting UDA agenda since I voted no for the finance bill. I am considered a rebel member of parliament. I don't get the benefits that other members of parliament who are elected on a UDA ticket and now the broad-based are getting, but that's just about it. I'm sorry, Wilfred. I've told you maybe someone is interfering with the voice. I don't know. Like I am, and you know I'm so loud. I'm really being loud. So that's it. I'm going to do a video, a recorded video. At least there, the volume cannot be interfered with, and I'm going to share it with you. But let us remember to hold our members of parliament accountable. Let us communicate with them, you know, whether it is like on the social platforms when certain bills are coming, we must also participate as a people. Our members of parliament must know that this is our, you know, this is our stance on this, and we want you to be there on the floor, propagating that stance. So bye-bye, guys. See ya. I'm going to do the video. Yeah, I know. It was signed on that morning for very particular reasons. This bill is a 2024 bill. That means it has been there. It has been existing for very considerably sufficient time for the members of the public to discuss it. I don't think like there was a lot of attention, media attention about it, but it's been there. So it wasn't like snack. It wasn't like voted within 3 days like what we did with I'm sorry guys, with the housing levy of Shashi. This was actually there for some time. It was up for debate. I do think that people just weren't aware. So please stay on the know. Please stay on the know. So bye-bye, guys. I'm going to upload the video for you so you can get to watch it.